And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Field of Glory's Empire as Rome. Where should we go to cycle the turn here? Let's see how our plans that we laid out at the beginning of the end of last part play out. Okay, army arrives. We are 22 units versus 7. Open field battle where our troops pretty much reign supreme. It's also the entire enemy's front row. We've got one more dice to roll than them, and they're rolling minimums 1, so they're gonna have a bad day. And we marched there specifically to relieve them if they were still garrisoned. Whoops. So that's where the army that we were going after went. That's a dead legion. Goodbye, that legion. Slave market, buy, sell, or display slaves. We'll display slaves. You, go chase that army down. I think they built up another bigger garrison here. So the big hard thing that's making this hard is they got the tribal council here. So they got a garrison of heavy and mediums, and they have the druid hideout here, which provides 6 palace level guards. And for the Celts, palace level guards don't have penalties in the forest, so they're really good at defending the forest. On the other hand, if we do get a hold of this province, this will immediately go and blow up. It won't be there anymore. So it's not a benefit that we get to benefit from. It's just a thing they get to benefit from. It's also a thing that I don't think they get to build. There's a few of them that they start with in the area, and they get to keep them. That's it. Here, again, I think we actually want to fish for that well. So we're going to hit the shuffle. And then we don't actually need anything else construction-wise here. And I don't think we need to keep anyone on infrastructure to keep the thing positive for the moment. So everyone back to money and food. Based on whether you are slave or citizen. Oh, we need 1 slave to continue maintaining the infrastructure. There we go. 2 building slots here. Well for food. Not going to complain, that makes sense. We do want a well for food. It's not a very good worship place either. Trade center is real tempting from a money standpoint. This is one of the places where we can get a well. So we'll grab a well here. Pleasure District, which is the National Wonder version of the Pleasure line. Not actually all that tempting, honestly. Provides a massive multi-bonus. We don't need that here. We got 189 right now. So we'll pass on that. Furnace or industry? I'm actually going to the industry here. That'll guarantee that we have access to the tier 3 stuff. And yeah, we're a little bit close on the food, so if we get any growth, then we want more food, so that's why we're grabbing the wells. You want some more food, but don't have anything to do it with for the moment. To keep military quality up, we're going to do the training ground, as tempting as it was to go for the school. You're under siege, but we're going to relieve that siege, so we're going to ignore the fact it's under siege. Could use a little bit of loyalty here, so we will grab the loyalty producing building. This is a good orchard. 15 food, it's got a double food bonus. Missing the one from dates, but that's... Missing one is not that bad. And then we don't need the... Well, actually, we don't need all these guys in food. We want some of these guys in food. Oh, the whole thing isn't quite working, so we'll put them all in food. They're all in production. There we go. This is a functional combat stack. Send it south because we want to go into Canterbury. And then you actually want to march towards Rome. Because you want to receive basically new legions. Needs new legions. And given that's the case, we'll go ahead. We might be able to build them closer, honestly, but why when we don't have to? 3/3s, yeah, no. Roman, Marian legions are going to just be better than that. 6/5s. Oh, these guys also have range attack 6. That's probably where they're better than the normal legions. Normal legions probably didn't have range attack 6. So these guys skirmish better. In fact, these guys skirmish enough that could just build nothing but these for combat stack, and it'd be pretty good. We're not going to, but we'll build some without any ally. So we'll build another 6 there. You arrived there, presumably because I had something to build there. Roads and limes, yes, okay. You can be upgraded to a lime, or yeah, you can upgrade a lime. You've got your road upgrade, you've got your road upgrade, okay. So yeah, we'll move there to build the lime. Lots of open slots. Granary is tempting. But I think we're gonna go with the school. The decadence down. Sawmill wouldn't be bad here. Yeah, or actually no, we do want to get the conversion done because we still got Celts. Conversion is gonna get prioritized. This is where we want our food, so unless we got a reason not to do the food building, we're doing the food building. Granted, that's of the food buildings that can be given, that's like the worst food building. We want the granary, we want the mill. So we got 2 of 5 chance to hit what we want. About a 40% chance to hit what we want. And we got a decent reroll here with the crafting district, so we'll do the crafting district for the reroll. Effectively a reroll. We don't need as much food up here anymore, so let's get these guys onto production, get stuff being built. Just trying to solve the foraging problems, and I think that's solved itself by now. Yeah, and these guys is about as good as they're going to get for the attack, so we'll go ahead and order in the attack. We'll see if the attack works. It probably won't. Probably going to get thrown back in our face again, but we'll see. Marching, 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 marching. Yes. I think that's the only lone territory that isn't part of our province. I was doing diplomacy with you. No, we're waiting for their response. That's what's going on. War with you, client state, alliance, client state. And yeah, I think we're at the point where we may be contemplating soon trying to save up to integrate one of our client states, and not both our client states. Okay, we are attacking with a 2 attacker against a 1 defender. theory, from a combat power standpoint, they have the stronger combat power. Skirmisher's throw. We're getting 3 dice. We are at a 1 base roll minimum. Mouse, they have a slightly better roll than us. We tie. They get 1 more roll, but they have a slightly better minimum than us. We actually succeed there. They got more than 1. We're thinking this is cavalry, so it gets a skirmish. Okay, we won that roll. We lost that roll, but not so bad that we lose the unit. Because of the skirmish, we don't lose anything there. That's classified as a draw. Okay. Here's a battle that we should pretty easily win, because it's open, hilly terrain, where the legions shine. There we go. Back to here. We didn't win on the first round, and at this point we're starting to get exhausted. It's still we have 1 more roll than them. Only minus 1 on it. There we go. Army lost. Pretty negligible defeat. We only lost to LA. Okay, we're now Glorious Empire tier. So next turn we'll have a better idea of what our Decadence from Age is. Okay. We'll still have you guys keep marching. These guys will march out to meet you. Can I build ally all the way out here? Any of these provinces... Build Marian Legion there. Marian Legion might be adequate placement for the ally. They're a little expensive for what we want them to do, but they'll work. I guess we can only build ally in... Because we still can build ally. I guess we can only build it in Italy. Yeah. You're visiting Sword and Ruler. We're now the Glorious Empire of Rome. Okay. Glorious Aristocratic Republic. Still in the progressing tier, and probably likely to still be in the progressing tier. Okay, let's just crank out to Marian Legions. Okay. That unit's moving, that unit's moving. That's the garrison. We'll actually have the garrison Sally. Because the garrison's in a position where it probably can win at Sally. Yeah, we got some open slots from the population growth. Here we're still looking for wells. We'll accept Great Mills if we get Great Mills pop up. But we're really looking for the wells, so we're gonna reroll. And then you are the one that's actually gonna be the more interesting choice, I suppose. Could grab the Noble Gardens, bunch of culture, because we got gold and marble locally. It's enough culture to offset the decadence, so we're not too worried about the decadence there. I'm not desperate for the armor. That would allow us to build stuff faster. We're not desperate for the armor. It's not a particularly great trading post. Not particularly great preserved foods. Yeah, I think we're gonna go gardens. At which point we can just amp up the construction speed. I might not take any of the guys off of money generation. We'll just amp it up my food production over to production. 4 turns. 4 turns is not that bad. One thing to build here. Irrigation system. On the other hand, this is an irrigation system that would provide a negative food. So no, we're not building it. There are other food buildings we'd build if they came up. We're not desperate to get to irrigation canals. We have irrigation canals, I believe, in the neighboring tile. Yeah. Don't need that loyalty. I think we're just going over the harbor here. Upgrade the harbor. Construction's all going well. Gotta build a slot open here. Let's go grab the soul house. Our food would hurt. The form of the soul house, okay. Open building 2 slots. Don't need the Marion, or don't need the Legion camp here, particularly necessary, I think. This is mountains, so it might make sense to get the Wheelmaker. Yeah, grab the Wheelmaker. Improved conversion mirrors. That sounds like a great thing. 6 slots up here. This is the place we're trying to turn into a farm canal place. That is not the food buildings we're looking for, right? We're looking for granary mill for the next food. We'll grab the Wheelmaker. We got 6 open slots here, so we don't need to be super picky for what food building we're getting, other than the fact that we are kind of trying to be picky. We don't need to be super picky about it. Okay, move to production. Got an open building site there. You're pretty close to doing it as well, so we'll make you the food-centric one of this one. So we'll give you the granary. And then our offensives continue most places. Mostly underhindered. Yeah, mostly underhindered. Decisions. Nope, I think we're gonna hold off on all the decisions. Nothing really there. It's piquing my presumptions and we need to get it sooner rather than later. Oh, I suppose we're only building one thing here. How much production? We don't need 700 production to build that. So we should reset to food and money. Okay, we have 14 spare. So we actually take all of you off of to make money. We need 34 more infrastructure back. So I say back. We just don't want it to backslide places. Ideally. There we go. A bunch more money, and we do need the money to integrate our client states. client states down here that we're interested in integrating. Because if we're looking at it from a transaction standpoint, we want to absorb you. A lot of bargaining points. So we'll say give them everything. And we're 100-something bargaining points short. So that means we need to like double the treasury. Amongst other things. Similar sort of concept here. It hasn't been long enough yet to annex these guys, so we can't even see how much that would cost. But presumably a decent amount. Though maybe not as much as Melissa, or Melissa down there. We did just bounce, so our war score is probably not great. Seed, Phineas, Finay. Yeah, not even good enough that it'll even let me send it. That's how bad that is. So let's cycle that turn. So the Port Sally. This is just the two skirmishers that escaped the previous battle, so they're in no shape to hold up. We dropped from age. We dropped 3 places, so we're still making way too much culture. Which is fine. We won't get any age downs from Baros tokens at this point, so we'll just accept where we are. You displace the slaves. Okay, they're marching there. That's fine. Sure. Actually, ideally don't want you to end a turn in C zone if possible. Okay, get those guys to merge up. You can go join that army, which hopefully will be recovered by the time you get there. Could use a little bit of loyalty. It probably only needs loyalty because it's an occupied place, but spread out with loyalty anyway. Again, we're fishing for the wells. We take the Great Mill if the Great Mill showed up, but mainly fishing for wells. For the last slot here, so you're just reroll again. And Noble Gardens 3 turns is fine. Finished construction here, so we're just growing. 2 constructions here. Let's grab the market. That's a decent market. That'll bring us up to 3 commerce buildings and give us access to tier 2 commerce buildings. Thinking the same here, unless we got a... Well, we've got a decent number of farm buildings there. Don't really... Again, this would be sort of like we want the granary or the wells from the mill. I think we'll go walls here. Not super optimal, but at least get something being built that's worthwhile building. Okay, zone's not growing, but that's fine. 2 open slots. It's definitely not a place we need walls. We need the guard tower. We'll build the wheel maker, and that'll be a good place after that to build various things. You can build the limes. And you march there and build limes. Okay. Lots of building slots. Don't have access to weapons, because that's a bit expensive to use up here. Not a great candle shop. Could be a siege workshop here, just have a greater build rate. Yeah. And we got 5 here. This is the place where we are fishing for food. Granary was one of the 2 buildings we were fishing for, so that is perfect. Okay. That army's reinforcing. These are marching into Celtiberia. Once we're done with Celtiberia, we can just poke the rest of the Veneti down there. We've got more money. Probably still not at the point where we can convince them to be absorbed. Minus 55. Getting closer. So yeah, I think we need like the level 10,000 plus to get them on board with becoming one with the Greater Rome. Okay, we had a general retire. Let's make sure he's not any of the active ones. No, doesn't look like it. Uh, 14 versus 1. I'm just gonna hit skip because we're gonna win that fight. Like, there's no questions about that. And we're still in the progressing tier. In fact, we actually went up a spot in the progressing tier, so we're not apparently not that worried about our decadence at the moment. Because we're tier 3 in Glorious, if we get 5 progress tokens, we instead go into a golden age instead of changing government type. Which I believe is just temporary bonus stuff. I don't know if we'll take the province in between just march through, but we'll see. It's marching there, which is fine. These guys want to become 1. And then I am tempted to send them back north. Those guys haven't merged yet. Oh, this guy, as is marching, Camp Road. Port, apparently. 1 open building slot. Again, we're fishing for a specific building. We didn't pull that building. So, reroll. No buildings there. Bunch of open slots here. Actually use a little bit more food. Mill, oh. Give me all the good all the choices right now. Mill is the food building I wanted. One of the food buildings I wanted. Probably actually wants Venery the most out of the 3 of them. The one we're going to go with, because it actually is going to give us a slot, is Land Expansion. Yeah, all the good choices that time. That happens every once in a while. Monument, culture, cool. We could do Basilica. It would be expensive, so we're going to pass on it because it's expensive. Blacksmith, no. This one's not getting any good choices. Yeah, this one's not getting any good choices, so we're just going to do the reroll here. One, 2, 5. So we'll start with a 1. Granary's not a bad choice. At some point we'll get the Legionary around to build the road, so we won't do the road. Yeah, the Granary's not a bad choice. We'll do the Granary. 2. That's the port down there, and the province capital, I think. Or maybe the province capital ended up someplace else, but it's the port. Worship place. Don't need that loyalty. Furnace wouldn't be bad and gives access to tier 3 commerce buildings. A little early for a fabricator. We'd want more food for that. Probably go Ration Tribune. Oh, as these guys go marching through Public Works, Roman Camp. I know, a little cheesy that you don't have to stop and build it. You can just be, I'm in the province, so it'll build, then the guys will move on. But that's how it works. Crafting district isn't a bad choice. Maybe it's a bad choice if you're trying to fish for very specific commerce buildings, but other than that, it's not that bad. Land expansion, okay. Monument versus Smokehouse. We'll do Monument. Let's take the space. Lots of building choices here, okay. Sawmill. This is not a bad place for a sawmill. Yeah, we'll hold on to the Preceptor's house. Grab Legion Camp instead. And we'll grab the Wheelmaker, so we're a good place for upgrading the roads. Okay, so I think that's the motions for the turn. Oh, prospect for resources. Any places we specifically want to do that? You know, let's actually do it here. Okay. Then let's cycle the turn, see how the turn goes, and then I'll probably put the second part break of the stream in the beginning of next turn. Okay, our army is on the offensive. 14 versus 29, so this may not go our way, though both of our generals are not in optimal terrain, or not an optimal stance for their specialties. Skirmishers throw. 8 versus 6, so that fight should go our way, and it didn't. 6 versus 6. I think we've lost this battle. Yep. Got a little overly confident. Assumed our generals would be able to handle thick and thin, and got punished for it. So in the progress here, and apparently got rewarded within the progress token, I think. Got the Barbarian emissaries to reach us with a proposal of peace. We'll check that up on next time. But yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, there will be another part up tomorrow. We're trying to record a full 5 parts today, so everything going well, there should be parts up for the next 3 days. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around, take a short break to sip some tea, and then we'll get right back to recording. So with that, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.